Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Pick for Life. We're gonna be doing a last minute live stream of the exclusive Tfcon exclusive Mastermind Creations reformatted R49 Mentis, the psychiatrist. And as you can see, he is their rendition of IDW Rung, which is an awesome character. If you've ever read More Than Meets the Eye, you know just how cool of a character he is and how important he ends up being, even though he seems like a kind of a secondary character that they invented for the show or the series. Packaging review, real quick. You just get this nice rendered image of Mentis with his backpack scooter, and then you get this nice gold seal, which celebrates the 10th anniversary of the reformatted line, which, yay, love the reformatted line. On the side here, just some more pictures. Another one. One of those extra faces, and I feel like they transformed this and made it a little weird looking. Nothing really on the bottom. And on the back, we have a lot of different product images from his two modes. So he has his robot mode and his nondescript, quote-unquote, useless alt mode, and then his scooter. So we'll go ahead and get him out of packaging. Welcome, everyone who's joined. It looks like we have Mike Rogers and who else do we have? Jermaine Sutton. Hey, Jermaine, it's been a while. Dr. Diecast. Buta, it's good seeing you. Mecca. And Ben Parasite. I don't know if I've seen Ben Parasite in here before. Oh, Princeton Phalanx. So here he is out of packaging. He does come with a bunch of accessories, which we'll talk about. He does have a plastic stack card. A couple things I noticed. Hey, Anthony, is that they have a typo here for his name. So his name is Mentis, but here he's Mentist with a T at the end, kind of like dentist. And then on the back, one typo wasn't enough. They have Menthis. So Mentis, Mentist, and Menthis. His firepower is 1, but his skill is 10, and his intelligence is infinity. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. He does have an instruction booklet. Real quick, while the instructions are pretty good, I will say that the backpack instructions are awful and completely wrong. I'll have to show you guys how to do this correctly. They skip a bunch of steps for both modes. So, and then as you can see here, they have a preview for Maximus Pro Defense Titan. This is their Navigant, their first release of that figure, I think. I think that's the first release. We'll see. Hint, hint for TFCon. Here he is in his little plastic shell. He comes in robot mode, so if you don't like transforming figures, I don't know why you're collecting Transformers, but you won't have to transform him. His scooter comes stored in 2 parts. And in addition to that, you get 2 baggies. One comes with all his spare hands and his kind of tablet and articulating arm for the tablet, and a little model figure. If you didn't know, Rung in the show, in the series, collects models of different spaceships. And then he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 additional heads that he comes with. So we'll take a look at all these really quickly. So while he is kind of a small and basic transformation, a design, he is one that is very accurate, but he does come with a lot of accessories to try to make up for the lack of, I guess, interesting other playability. Like, he doesn't really have weapons. He's a psychiatrist, so he's a bit of a pacifist. Hey, Sardo, how's it going? Let's see here. Oh. I don't know if these goggles came off of somebody or if you're able to use them. I don't know. I just noticed that. So sorry, I'm not able to focus. But I feel like maybe you're able to reuse these somewhere. I'm not really sure, to be perfectly honest. I didn't even notice them before. But you might be able to plug them on. I'll have to look around for this, see if any of these are missing eyeballs. All right, so let's look at all these one at a time first. So here's his stock head, his face, and the sculpt is really on point. He looks great. One thing that you might have out of your packaging is a little bent or warped antenna. Really quick, if you do a hair dry, it should straighten it out, or bend it a little bit. It should straighten out, but I didn't have time to do that. I've been very busy today. Other face sculpts, he has this kind of worried, scared looking one here. This kind of what I'm calling kind of blue steel, or maybe a whistling. He has kind of puckered lips. He has this kind of angry, serious one, which isn't very Rung, if I were to say. Here's one that is pretty Rung. Very scared / nervous looking. I like his eyebrows tilted downward. He has another, I guess maybe this one is like the blue steel one. I wonder what the difference between these two are. Oh, one has an actual hole, and the other one has goggles. Which again, I don't know where these spare goggles are supposed to go. All right. Here's his angry, kind of yelling one. Kind of like a strict teacher or professor. And then another angry one with gritting teeth and no goggles. So they're all pretty similar, but they all express a little bit different emotion. Let me look really quickly and see if that extra pair of goggles were supposed to actually come with it. Yeah, so they don't really mention it. They say 7 heads, 1, 2, 3, 4 should have goggles. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So I don't know if this is just an extra piece that I got with mine, but if you guys get one with yours, let me know. All right. The other things that he does get is this articulating arm that pegs into the back of this tablet where he takes notes and reads and so forth. And the way you use this is if you lift up his arms, he has a little peg hole on either side of his body. You can peg that in and you can articulate it like so. It does have a hinge here, a second hinge there, and then there's like a ball peg at the base here. I find this actually easier and you get more articulation if you have the ball peg at the front, but that might look a little weird to have it that way, but I find you do get way more articulation that way. So a little fun accessory. I don't know that I'll ever use it. All right, let's look at his extra hand. So he comes stock with these just kind of plain, straight, lanky fingers here. He has ones similar to that, except they're forward. And the way they work is with a ball peg. So this is kind of the stop in the name of love kind of dealy. Or the Iron Man repulsor beam. What else does he have here? He has more straight kind of karate chop, or maybe like a lecturer hand. He has a couple of balled up fists for his angry faces. He has, I don't know what the difference between these two hands are. They look slightly different, but they're both relaxed, straight hands. I guess this one, his fingers are closed, but this one looks very similar. I mean, they're not that different. He has some kind of trigger finger hands, which is kind of interesting. I guess this is for more reading a book than it is. Oh, it's probably for, yeah, these, gripping his scooter. We'll show that off in a bit. Kind of like a pencil holding hand, and then this one, I don't know, 2 fingers. So not all that interesting, to be perfectly honest. And then here's his little model ship. I don't know which one this one's supposed to be. I don't think it's the Lost Light, and it's definitely not the Ark. But there's not much you can do with this. I thought you might be able to like store this somewhere. Like it looks like it has tabs here that I could store somewhere. But I guess the only thing you can really do is kind of hold on to it if you use one of these hands. But it's kind of cool. It does speak to the character a bit. And if we put this one on, they are a softer plastic, not rubber, but a softer plastic. At least I don't think they're rubber. Yeah, softer plastic there. So let's actually go to the scooter real quick. So the scooter comes in two pieces, like so. I'll show you backpack mode first. So the backpack mode is how it comes out of the packaging. So it should be arranged in this orientation, like so. You just have to transform the handle by folding this down. You'll see two tabs there that go onto the top side here. And then when you come to the back of his existing backpack, you see two tabs there and two slots here. This little piece has a little indent in the backpack. And there he is with his backpack on, like a cool college kid. All right, so make sure that it's oriented this specific way. The wheels should look like this, because this can rotate here. And also this part that they don't show you at all, they don't show you this rotation either, but what they don't show you at all to get actually transformed into scooter is that you have to untab this section. These are two pieces. You untab it, flip it 180 degrees, and tab it back in. And then you have these kind of grippy tread pieces, and then you rotate this 180 degrees. So now it looks like this. You take the handle, you extend it back up. This little piece here, this like tuning fork kind of piece, goes in this gap right there. And again, you have to remember to rotate this. If you don't rotate it, then you won't get the clearance needed to actually roll the wheel. So the wheels do roll, but you're gonna have him grip on and ride to his heart's content. Ooh. Do a kick flip. All right, so let's get this hand out of the way. Let me get his kind of relaxed hand back in here. I think this is the stock one. You can really transform him with either any set of hands. They don't really get in the way of transformation. All right, sorry if I'm missing a lot of comments. I'm trying to get through this pretty quickly because I have a lot more stuff to do for TFCon as well as some other stuff before. All right, so let's do a quick 360 now that we have gone through all the accessories. And you can see he looks very much like his comic book rendition. Pretty accurate. And since he has such a basic transformation, there's not a lot of gaps or anything like that. He looks very much like the Rung we've all come to know and love. All right, so let's actually go through his articulation. He does have quite a bit. His neck is on a hinge at the base, so you can go forward and back, but his head is on a ball joint. You can remove that and put on any of the other heads. You don't have to unscrew it, even though there is a screw there. You can just pop it on and off. I'll go ahead and put on his blue steel. All right. Coming down to his shoulders, he has a bit of a butterfly joint here. He has a rotational joint, as well as a hinge. So he has lots of articulation here at the shoulder. Oops. His bicep does have a swivel. He has double jointed elbows. And as we explained, his hand works on a ball socket, and each of the hands comes with a ball peg that goes into that. It's nicely tolerant so they don't just fall out. His upper body has a hinge here, as well as a, sorry, that's one area that I think they could have done a little bit better, the tolerances on these pegs here that hold the shoulders in. But he does, as well as a torso crunch, he also has a torso kind of swivel. Not a swivel, I don't know, like a tilt. So he does have a decent amount of articulation in upper body. He doesn't have an ab crunch due to the way the transformation works, but again, you kind of get that through the torso crunch. He does have a 360 waist swivel. His legs can go forward a little bit more than 90 degrees, back 90 degrees, out to the side 90 degrees. Does have thigh swivel there, and a nice deep double jointed knee. His kneecaps have a little bit of a swivel there. His ankle has an ankle tilt. And then his toe is on a pin as well as a ball joint. So you can get it up and down, pointed down in weird directions or to the side if you want to do that. And that's pretty much it for his robot mode. I don't think I've missed anything as far as articulation. All right. So before we move on, let's go ahead and do some quick comparisons, and I'll try to go back and look at some of the comments. One thing I will say, though, and it's probably hard to see just because of the low quality of YouTube Live, but I was really impressed with the amount of detail in the paint and how clean the paint is. Sometimes we've gotten paint from MMC that, especially with some of the yellows, that wasn't as crisp or the lines were not as sharp, but even the small details, because he is a pretty small figure, as we'll see in just a bit. His eyes are very clean. These small details here, the red paint there, the blue, or the turquoise or whatever, the gold lines here, they're all like perfectly nicely done. So really great job. They even have some kind of like panel lining in the hips here. So, oh, and also this soft rubber piece that's part of the side of the head, even where it attaches at the base is really clean, so it's not like there's overspray or anything like that. It almost looks like two separate pieces. So they did a really good job with paint this time around. Very, very impressed. All right, so let's do some quick comparisons of this guy with some other characters from the reformatted line. Let's see if I can get him to stand up. Sorry, my table is not perfectly level, which is why it's causing problems. Here he is next to Nemo. So you can see just how small he is, as well as compared to their new Optimus. Sorry, I guess I should straighten him out a bit. I was going to bring out my fans make toys tailgate, but I realized I don't know where I put him, or maybe I sold him recently, but I wanted to bring him out for his alt mode, because tailgate does end up using his alt mode as a bludgeoning weapon. But yeah, a very tiny figure. Let me see what else I can compare him to. Oh, here he is next to a Voyager class. So he's kind of like a deluxe class figure overall. A current deluxe. Here's a Voyager Siege Voyager Prime. And for now, that's all the comparisons I'll do. All right, so let's get him transformed. He's very simple to transform, as you might imagine. With his kind of nondescript stick-like alt mode, we'll go ahead and get him transformed. So, any die cast? No, there's no die cast. Very few reformatted figures have die cast. This one being so small, he does not have any. But he does feel really nice. His plastic feels very, very good. You know, smaller figures like this often tend to have weaker areas that you might be a cause for concern, like their what was it? Their their DJD one. One of them was really thing. Voss. I know he suffered from some plastic breakages and stuff like that. But this guy feels really good. His plastic is really nice, very smooth. It's not as, I guess, textured as some of the MMC figures we've gotten in the past. It's nice and smooth. And again, it looks really, really nice. All right, so let's get into transformation here. So the first thing we'll do is actually come to the sides. We're going to open up these tabs, pull up the backpack. Actually, we should have pulled out the backpack first. Let me go back. Untab the backpack here. We're going to pull out the sides. They're tabbed in. You want to pull this down. And his upper body extends. So just grab him at the hips, extend there. And then this piece that the backpack is attached to slides out. You want to rotate it around to the front, so 180 degrees to the front. Now you want to push that back in and then collapse the upper body. All right, so that's the first part. Next part is we want to untab the shoulders here. Each of the shoulders, they're on double hinges, and you just want to raise them up at this point. You don't want to actually tab them in, but you want to raise them up. You want to bring this little peg here on this white piece and put that right into the area right below his neck. So again, you just want to get this kind of out of the way. And you'll see that these will fill into the gap here once you have it all tabbed in. But first you want to tab in the white peg. If you can manage it, there we go. This piece will come up. Oh, sorry. You want to move his neck back on his neck hinge. And then get this. What's going on here? Get that in. And this white piece will come back around behind his head. Should be. What's going on? I feel like I'm running into something. This shouldn't be. There we go. All right. For some reason, the peg wasn't going in. So once we have that and put this around the back of his head, we want to rotate his shoulders up on those double hinges and get them tabbed in there. And you can see they're shaped perfectly to do so. Once you have that, go ahead and close the tabs around his obliques. And you can bring these handles down, or you can leave them up. It really depends on how you want to do his alt mode. His arms will rotate backwards and use his shoulder rotation to get this small peg hole aligned. And as you can see, they'll sandwich this small piece here. Like so. Rotate the arms 90 degrees. And then you'll have a tab at the back of the arm that goes into his back on each arm. And then another one that will go into kind of his back of his hips. Like so. And then you can do with his arms a little bit later. So that's his upper body. Lower body, all you do is come down here, open up this leg panel. You want to rotate this piece out. And then you're going to basically fold in the leg on itself like so. This will come up. There is a tab on the outside of his leg right there that corresponds to that part there. Close this up. And then you'll get his toe kind of flattened out like this. Same thing on the other side. Open this up. Rotate this out. Collapse this in on itself. Tab in the outer thigh. Tab in this panel. Put together the two halves of the legs. Fold his toe up. Tab in this section back here, and then you can do with this kneecap pieces however you'd like that. And lastly, he has two other handles back here. Sometimes in the comic he has these out, sometimes he doesn't. But with that, you have him in his nondescript, kind of useless alt mode, as they couldn't figure out for the longest time what his alt mode did. I don't know if it's a spoiler anymore, given that they revealed this a long time ago, but it does serve a very important purpose, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone who may or may not have read More Than Meets the Eye yet. But I definitely recommend it as a read. It's one of the better Transformers comic books that are out there, and it's a very interesting ensemble story. So highly recommend it if you haven't, and then I'm sure you'll grow to love Rung just as much as the rest of the fandom does. All right. And then I didn't try this. Who do I have that might have? I'm thinking these, you can probably use these. I think this is probably like a 5mm, and this might be like a 3mm peg. But I don't have any characters with fists that size. Maybe not. Oh, let's try this one. Yeah, as expected, he does have a 5mm peg hole, so you can use this as Tailgate did. Or was it Tailgate? I think it was Tailgate, right? Yeah, I think it was Tailgate. that once used Rung's alt mode as a bludgeoning tool to great effect. And then I guess if you have a smaller class figure, I think these are 3mm pegs possibly that you can use. Maybe with their nickel, and that's the smaller figure with smaller hands. That might work with her. But yeah, there's not really much else going on here. So is this going to be on the Toy Dojo site or only A3U? I don't know which sites it's going to be on, but it won't just be a con exclusive. They will have some for sale. And I think even Planet Steel Express, I think, had some pre-orders for them. But yeah, if you're interested in this at TFCon, if you're coming to TFCon Baltimore, this will be at the ages 3 and up / Toy Dojo section. They're all going to be in one island. I'm sure they're going to have a dedicated table for this setup, just for selling this exclusive. So just keep an eye out on that. It will be in limited numbers. It's more of a early release than, you know, a true exclusive, but definitely check it out. It's, I think, on sale for $125 US. I'm not sure. Somebody will have to fact check me on that one. All right. I don't know if there's any other playability here. I didn't see anything else. This section looks like you can open it up, but I haven't been able to figure out how it's done. But yeah, that's really it. All right, so let's go ahead and get him transformed back into robot mode, and we'll finish off the review, answer some questions, and then get on with our evening. There is one other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about as far as, I guess, kind of bonus things that I noticed. But in any case, go ahead and fold these down. We're going to separate the two legs like so. Open this panel up, rotate the leg out, fold this down, and make sure that this one in particular on his right leg is folded down all the way like this. There is a little peg here that fills in this gap. So when you close this up, it fills out this hole here. And that's it for this leg. On the other side, open up this panel, rock it around. This one does not have one because this is the corresponding slot section, but make sure you have it positioned the correct way so this tabs in right there. And that's the lower body done. Upper body, we'll go ahead and just untab the arms here, untab the arms at the top. We'll untab these handle pieces and rock them up. This is kind of a weird, funny, I don't know. When I look at this, I think of like Portal / Fortnite. I don't know why. But anyway, you can do this. Untab these sections up here. This will allow you to open this up and unpeg it from the neck portion. Remember to extend the upper and lower body. Remember to pull this section out. You can see it's on the slider. Pull it out so that you can rotate it all the way to the back. Remember to collapse it back towards the front of the body and then collapse the upper body downwards to lock everything in place. Now you can rock these shoulder joints all the way down, tab them in here. Again, I wish they tabbed in just a little bit more securely. I do find that, see, even just moving the arm here, they don't secure quite enough. And it looks like there's actually tabs at the bottom as well, but I can't seem to get them to engage. They don't seem long enough. But as much as I try to get these squeezed together, I do feel that this is a little too loose. There we go. Get the arms rotated forward, hands rotated in the correct orientation, like so. Remember to close these handle pieces. They tab in to the obliques. Bring this down. And you want this backpack hinge to be forward, the peg to be forward, like so. And then this will tab in here. You'll know that it's correct when that tab actually goes into the backpack. And with that, we have Mentis, or Mentis, or Mentist, depending on what part of the packaging and stack card did you read, back in robot mode. So overall, I think he's a nice little figure. Again, I think he's highly detailed. A lot of really accurate facial expressions that you get with him. Just the small details and paint details really do make him look more alive than many of other Transformers that we have. He had more kind of an expression. Um, he's more an expressive character than Optimus Prime with his mouthpiece and stuff like that. But I think they did a really excellent job with this. I do think $125 is too much for this figure though, given the size and complexity. But he is such a really interesting character, and I don't know how they're going to remold this at all. Or recolor it into anything that's particularly interesting that somebody would want to buy. So maybe that's why they had to get the price a little bit higher so that they can justify the low sales numbers that they'll probably see from this. But overall, I'm very happy with this figure. I think he's very adorable, very much a fan favorite character that finally gets a worthwhile and worthy toy. I think the only other toy that we got was that Micromaster. I forget what they were called, like a Battle Master or something like that. From the main line, they had him, and then he had his similar stick bludgeoning tool. We'll just call it that alt mode. But I forget. I think it was just like a really small figure. I don't remember what they were called. So I think that's it for the review. I am gonna spend the next few minutes just answering some questions. I'm not gonna do a whole bunch of comparisons in size. I think I've done enough. But if you guys have any other questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time. I know I missed a lot of the comments and questions throughout this whole review. Let's see. I'll say hi. Let's see. Pig, you didn't show him being used in his vape pen mode. I don't remember that mode. I don't know what that one is. Oh, the one thing I did want to show you guys is this is a bit of a spoiler, but at some point in the story, he does get his head blown off. And while it's not exactly what it looks like in the comic, the fact that you can leave the ball joint on and kind of recreate that look, I had myself a little giggle when I saw that. So I was very happy that we can have a headless Rung to recreate that little bit of history. Let's see what else we have here. Enu Tabby says that's more than I expected, but I understand. I think he's talking about the pricing. Yeah, like I said, 125 is a lot for such a small figure, but he is quite a quality figure, and I think he looks really, really nice. Honestly, the character design is something that's kind of really skinny and lanky, but even though he's skinny and lanky, his proportions look really good. He still looks like he can put up a fight, I'm sure he can beat me up. He has a better body than I do. Hey Steve, how's it going? For the most part, I have not worried about Tfcon exclusives. Yeah, if you've been to Tfcon before, you know that most of them do become available, albeit usually at a slightly higher price after the show online at some retailers. Yeah, Protectobots. Yeah, so people are asking about that. I gave a little preview of it here, but there might be something to show at TFCon Baltimore in the next couple days. Mike Rogers says, looks like they show their first one in the instruction manual. Yep, that's what I just showed. And first aid was in another manual before this. Yeah. Thanks, Mike, for shouting out everybody to hit that thumbs up. I do appreciate it if you do. Hi, Henry VIII. You are what? Oh, Henry VIII. You are missing you. Hey, Cheryl, how's it going? All right, so we don't have too many people. I expected as much, given that I gave only 30 minutes notice, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Chalan. I never know how to pronounce this one. Good to see you though. But it's nice seeing some of the regulars. Oh, Kato, I miss Kato. I'll be at TFCon. I'll be at the Toy Dojo section. Again, the Toy Dojo, MMC, ages 3 and up. Little island. They have an island circle of like 10 or so tables. I'll be there the whole weekend. I don't know which table exactly I'll be at, but come by and stop by, say hi. Love to get some pictures with folks, give some fist bumps. All right, so I don't think I see many other questions. Let me just scroll back. Still waiting for a lock. So I actually do have a lock. X-Transbots did send me one. to review. I did have an issue with it, so they're gonna send me a replacement piece. So that's why I haven't been able to do the review. I was actually trying to do the review last night, but yeah, I had to put that on pause. They're gonna send me an update, and then I'm gonna try to do that. From what I saw, only watched one or skimmed through one or other two reviews. I can't really see what the difference is. There's only a couple places that I noticed obvious differences, but quality-wise, I think it feels good. But unfortunately, I won't be able to do a review for him for a little while. All right. Oh, the other thing that's great is if you guys didn't hear, Fans Toys, or I don't even know what it's called, Robot Paradise, the Masterpiece Soundwave. Um, they are going to start shipping fairly soon, so I'm sure a lot of people are waiting on that, an updated MP Soundwave and Minions. Anthony Brown says, "Can you buy me a Mentis and mail it to me?" I don't know if you're talking to me, but I probably won't be able to do that for you. But like I said, if you've ever seen TFCon exclusives, they're almost always available in larger number later. And especially this one, I don't think this was ever meant to be a exclusive. I think it's going to be, I think it's a mass retail release. But this might just be the early release that we can see. Buta is glad to have you. Yeah, it's glad to see me live streaming again. Yeah, I will definitely try to do some more. I just haven't bought anything in a really, really long time. So, and I didn't buy this figure either. So, but yeah, there's probably going to be some more stuff while I'm at TFCon. Depending on how busy I am, I might just do some impromptu live streams either at the booth or maybe walking around showing those folks who couldn't make it to Baltimore. TFCon, showing them what they might be missing out on, seeing some familiar faces or something like that. So I'll try to do that maybe once or twice if I have the opportunity, but no promises given that TFCon usually ends up being super, super busy. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Yeah, so I think so Joe's talking about Locke. Locke I would say is not that bad. The transformation is still a bit of a headache, mostly because there's some a lot of clearance issues and some collisions and stuff like that. There are very specific ways that you have to transform it. Um, and then the instructions are not very good. I'm going to be perfectly frank; they're just not. And the reason why I had a problem is that the instructions are not very clear or completely miss a step that's really critical and could cause you to damage your figure. So, Anthony asks, "Will I be able to get some goodies to take home from TFCon to stream about?" I'm working on that. Probably at least one other figure I'm going to be able to preview for sure. So we'll definitely have some live streams where we'll see some new stuff. I don't know exactly how much I'll be able to show, if I can just show it or if I can do a full kind of preview on it. I still have to work that out with MMC/Ocular Max. But yeah, we'll definitely have some stuff to show. Uh, Cheryl says I convinced her to get a yellow Terra Aegis. I still have my yellow one, I think. Or do I have the white one? I have one of them. The one that has my logo on it. So I definitely needed to keep that one just because it had my logo. All right. Awesome. So I don't think we have any more comments or questions. Thanks to all of you who joined last minute to be able to watch this. I hope I see some of you at TFCon this weekend. If not, definitely we'll hopefully see you in more live streams coming up afterwards. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Hope you have a good one.